Double underhooks. Double underhooks are a big deal. If somebody gets those grips under your arms, they can pull you in close, they can pick you up. And it's nice to think I'll be able to hit them or I'll be able to do something, but it's a race. And if you get picked up and ripped off your feet, you can get thrown on your head. So again, like the big deal is to not get picked up. The way we're not going to get picked up is we're going to like slide that weight way out in front of them. In the first one where they were over arms, we put our hands on their hips and we backed up. And in this other one, as they were coming over, we put our hands on their face and we pushed this way. And that works if I see it. If my perception is such that I see this thing happening and developing and I can get my frames in front. Would you help me, Mr. Freeman?
Yes, sir.
If John gets his arms underneath my waist this way and we're sort of like chest to chest, now it's a little bit trickier for me to get to his face. And my hips are starting to get sucked in towards him. He can bend his knees and then he can start to pick me up and now I'm in trouble. Everybody agree?
Yes, sir.
All right, so since I can't get here, and I could try to hit him, but it's a race. I need to fix the position first so that I don't get picked up. So what I'm going to ask you to do is take both your hands. I'm going to swing them back to the hand side of his elbows. Not the shoulder side of his elbows, but the hand side of his elbows. I'm going to put my hands together. And rest for a second. This hug is nice. So.
Oh, thank you.
Once you get there, and it's locked on, you're going to have to use a little effort. But again, like if we see this happening, if our timing is better, and this is sort of a universal principle, the better your timing, the less effort your technique's going to take. So I'll show you in a few minutes like an easier setup to do the thing that we're going to do, but we're going to start sort of in the worst position. So this guy's got his grip, his elbows are in tight, he's pulled me in close, and I've got to make some space. Granted, I don't want to change my position. I don't want to necessarily have to do this, but this is I allowed this to happen, so now I've got to deal with it. So I'm going to go to what side of his elbow?
Hand
The
side.
hand side of his elbow, and I'm going to clasp my hands together. And I'm going to take both my hands, I'm going to push towards his belt knot, and I'm going to stick my butt back a little bit. Get ready to watch John's hands. It doesn't take much. Right, but I've got to clear that grip or I'm going to get scooped up. And you don't have to stay there long, but I can clear the grip. Now remember this bow strike. We're sort of hitting, you move the bow, you sort of switch your hips and you slide the bow around. I'm going to do a very similar movement with his arms. Right, so break this grip, slide back, get this bow, and pull it across. I'm going to break the grip, back to the wrist, bundle the arms together. Once they're together and we rotate out to the side, this should look sort of a familiar position for us. Let's do what we did earlier and help him move. We're going to not get picked up, so everybody shadow box this with me. Swing those hands to the hand side of his arm, clasp your hands together, push your hip fist towards his belt, stick your butt back just till you feel his grip pop. Once it pops, let's get to the wrist and get to the elbow. I'm going to slide my hand back to here and pass it across. Once it's across, you don't have to do anything fancier than this at this point, right? Because you've got both these bundled up. But we can use our Taijutsu, spin around to the side. We've got this real similar bar like we were working with Anchu Hayes, similar wrist lock like we were working with Master Bragg, or we could get back in to this sort of thing like we were doing with me earlier. So it should be a position you're like, oh, I've been here before. Don't get picked up. Bundle the arms together, sneak out this side. This should feel real familiar here. Step in. Again, the better our timing is, the easier job we're going to have. So if John gets this grip, I'm going to have to like do something to break it. But if I see this starting to come in and I can just tighten those elbows, right? I didn't have to break it because he never got it. Right? If my hands are out and he pummels those arms in, he gets in there deep, again, I've got to use some horsepower to pop it. But if he starts digging that in, and I never let him close it, then things are way easier. I'm using, how much effort does it look like I'm using?
Not much.
Not much, just as much effort as it takes for me to keep my elbows to my ribs. So that's the critical piece, right? It's like, how many of you practice like a mount escape where you're on the ground and somebody's sitting on you? So we always start in the worst position. You're totally flat. They got both their knees on the ground. They're holding you down. You're gonna have to use some muscle to get out. But it's your fault because you let them mount you, right? This is your fault if you let them do it, right? It doesn't mean that there's not a solution, but your timing's bad, right? Because you start in a rough spot. But if this is starting to dig, just deny it with a little elbow to your body here, and then this bundle's easy, right? Now we've got a mushadori. I don't even have to like move much. Push down, break his arm here, right? Really great, easy mushadori. You can switch, right, to one that's way more familiar for us. Don't let him get it. I can circle my hands this way, right? Now we're in ganseki or choke or a neck break there. So the trick is just deny that clinch by gluing your elbows to your ribs, right? It's like a little hero. Right? And glue it in, reach across and just connect to the elbow. If I push his wrist down, just stay right here. Right? It's an awful mushadori, onikudaki sort of thing. Right? If you're a traditionalist and you want to catch right here and rotate, go for it. Right? If you don't like the over the arm stuff, you can dig under the arm. I can make a little circle just with my hand as I'm moving, right? And now we're on there, right? We can go back into the throws we were doing earlier this way. Deny it, bundle it. Again, once you bundle, now we can hit him. Right, now you can pop him in here, now you can put your thumb in his eye. Right, now you can break his arm. Right, a little hip dip. We bundle him up this way. Get that body shot Anshu was talking about in there. Right, kick to the leg like we were working earlier. Bar to the arm like we were working earlier. Right. So what I want you to play is the timing. As he starts to hug, don't let him get his hands together. And all you do is just push your arms down and glue your elbows to your ribs. Being able to do a pull-up or multiple pull-ups is a good goal for this. Isolated limbs are vulnerabilities, they're liabilities in an altercation. Being able to bring them in and keep them strongly to your center is a superpower, right? And it's pulling exercises, rows and pull-ups and things like that will help you build that lat strength to glue these in tight, which will keep that person from doing it. And the cool thing is I don't have to like stop him. I have to glue it to me. I have to control my body. Right? So again, if they're big, if I can shut this space down and deny him changing that relationship, they're not going to get their hands around me. Right? And I've made a little space where if I needed to give him a strike, give him a headbutt, give him a hit, I've got the option. Don't try to win from an inferior position. Because you're always racing, bless you, and you're throwing Hail Marys. And hope is not a strategy. 1, 2, 3. In a striking situation, you can protect against strikes, but again, in a grappling situation, you got to build frames in the right places so people don't get the leverage that they need. The vulnerability for that shot is one thing. The vulnerability for that underhook, somebody establishing that connection, that's a problem. Then when they use Taijutsu, when they start moving their body, you're gonna be at their whim. You're hooked to them, right? So I want to deny that person a hook. If you're in a fight, you're not playing. If you're in a real fight, or if you're playing for keeps, sometimes I'll qualify things that way. If you're playing for keeps, don't let somebody show you what they're good at. You shut it all down from the beginning. Don't let them get the grip they want. Don't give them the target that they're looking for. Don't let them show you what they're good at. You can't let them get off starting block, because then you are behind the curve in the OODA loop. Does everybody know the OODA loop phrase? What is the first O? Observe. What's the second O? Orient. I got to figure out where I'm at. What's next? I got to make a decision, and then what? And then I have to act, right? But if I can cut that or deny that and put myself on the right side of that, then I'm the one taking advantage of and creating and leveraging the momentum of the situation. Now they started this and they're diving in, and I've shut down what they got. But as soon as I get that bundle, now I've changed it, and now they've got to respond. They've got to try to pull away from me or clear their arm or do something, because they don't have the opportunity to do what they want to do at that point to affect me. This is just like a little extension. This is a little what if that we can do off of that. I want to do sort of a different position in a few minutes, but I like this like takedown or throw. So that dig starts to come in. I'm not going to let him get it. I start to get that bundle, and I've got a hand free. I'm going to take this hand and dig it into that space. And as I dig it, I'm going to shoot that shoulder in forward so I can start pushing. As John starts pushing back, I'm going to block this knee and turn. And he'll throw himself. Right? It's a Tsutemi waza. It's a sacrifice throw, except I don't have to fall. Right? So Sumigaeshi and Tomoe Nage and Yoko Nagare, he's given me the energy, and they're beautiful in their functionality, because you truly are using somebody's momentum and energy and strength against them. But most of the time I got to lay down and throw them over me, and that's cool too if you're good at that. But going uphill or into a stump or into the mulch, you might not get as much mileage out of as you get on a flat, nice mat. So this one's cool though. What I would like to do is change this double under situation to an over and under situation, right? The over and under situation, if this is new to you, just think Ganseki, but give him a hug, right? A little push, maybe it doesn't take a lot, and he resists that push, trap this tricep. I remember Master Russo said that don't grab anything, so I tend to trap it with my thumb, swing this hand under. I'm not grabbing, I'm just blocking this knee, and I'm going to swing my leg around. Now that was a little artificial. I'm going to get a little push back. So I'm going to push John, and he resists, turn. And it takes no effort. And again, if we're playing for keeps, you can stay down there, and if you want to break contact and get away, you've got a really great option there as well. Deny the underhook. Get the bundle. Swim in for Ganseki, but stay facing him. Give him a little incentive to push back. Keep that left pinch. Shoot that right arm across and turn the other way. So I'm just facing this way, and hopefully they fall, and we shoot that knee right into the back. I'd like to cause discomfort, damage when they hit on the ground, so quite often we'll do this, and I'll say put your knee right where somebody's belt is so they can flex and protect. But again, if we're playing for keeps, put it up on the ribs. Make their shoulders touch each other while they're on the ground. Keep them looking away from you. Are you familiar with the term positional asphyxiation?
Right.
You can choke a person just by putting your body weight on them in a certain way. Right? That's a thing you could do there. You could shift it up and get up higher and hold them down and hit them. And again, you always have the option to break contact and grab a chair and throw it up. It works better when there's a little treachery involved, right? If they don't know what's happening, right? Certainly it can be foiled if somebody has a clue that that's what you're trying. So use it sparingly. Hopefully you only have to use it once. But in training, in Randori, it's just an easy one to get to. If you can get to Ganseki Nage, you can get right back to this over and under clinch.